All right.
Hey, welcome everybody here in Delicious Marketing Hacks. Super excited this afternoon and privileged to be joined not only by my business partner who's on the other side of Pennsylvania here, but we've got a special guest. This is our absolute first time connecting with Tom. Tom, before I kill your last name, how do you pronounce your last name?
Buford.
Buford. Okay. Tom Buford has come into our awareness over the past couple of weeks, and we've been privileged to get early access to an amazing system that he's put together. And without further ado, we're going to introduce Tom. Tom's going to give you a little bit of his background. Then we're going to dive into exactly what Remote Client System is all about. So without further ado, Tom Buford, welcome to this Facebook Live.
Tom. All right,
why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we could go way back. I'll be 50 here soon, so I've got some history. I'm originally from California. I've been here in Georgia for 32 years. I started in entrepreneurship in, I got to think, I guess 1999. I was running an automotive painting business. Did that for about 10 years, got out of that for health-related reasons, and then jumped into digital marketing. And it was really by accident. I had an online course that I created for coaches, for life coaches. I started doing affiliate marketing, and I just absolutely tripped my way into this, and then enjoyed the technical side of it with creating products and doing that. I haven't created a product in years now. So I used to create products in the coaching space, like life coaches, business coaches. Mm-hmm. Then I decided I wanted to do the agency side of things, which is not easy, right? The grass is always greener on the other side, but someone's going to mow it.
Sure.
And I found getting into the agency side, the reason I got into it is I want to help the businesses. They're too busy doing what they do. I enjoy doing some of the technical side of it. I understand it. But getting out there and connecting with people is a challenge. And I think that's where RCS came, this idea came along. It's not the only thing that I do. It's not the only thing that I recommend people do, but it's something that's really effective if used right. So that's how we stumbled into this.
That's killer. So, just for some context, the group that we're speaking with right now, they're filled with agency owners, right? Mm-hmm. So digital marketing agency owners, and some are brand spanking new, some are seasoned veterans, and a lot of what we teach is about creating assets, creating things in the local space, helping local businesses. But when RCS came across our desk, and we became aware of it, we took a look at this and we said, hey, we're not used to sending a lot of DMs to people, a lot of messages by way of Facebook and all that kind of stuff, because it seems like a lot of people were doing these types of things and not getting a lot of success. It seemed very spammy and that sort of thing. But when going through this course, I knew that this was something that could help a lot of people be able to connect with local businesses. But before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about your family life and kind of, if you're cool with that. A lot of the people that are inside this group are probably stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, or people that are looking to start something from home. Why don't you share a little bit about your background from your family perspective?
Yeah. So, I mean, running a business the way we've got it is very, very unique, and I mentioned before we got recording, my kids might come in. So it's an early school release. They'd be home now anyways, just now. Sure. But so I've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, both boys. And I've been married to my wife. Actually, yesterday was 9 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she's put up with me for nine years. It's good. She's amazing. She's Peruvian. We met, 10, 11 years ago now. And so it's cool because the boys are bilingual, but she's got her own career. She actually lost her first husband in a plane crash.
Oh, no.
And so she had walked away from a career, was married to him, trying to become a housewife. That was their decision. And then suddenly he's gone and she didn't have anything. So she's got a career. She works out of the house. She probably always will. And so I am the stay-at-home dad. And so that's, but the cool thing with what we do is that if you can kind of put the reins on things, you can make time for all these other things to fit in, which is cool. Now, the challenge, of course, is can you put the reins on all of the bright, shiny objects? And it's so hard. And I'm guilty. I love new things. I love learning. But if we're learning too much and we're not implementing, we're not making any money. And that's you've absolutely got to put something whether it's this program or anything else. I don't care what it is. You got to put something into use. So, but yeah, so I've got a good family here. I've got my folks live here in Georgia. And so we've got a lot of people close by. I'm in a band, play guitar for fun. So we've, I try to practice quite a bit. And, sometimes this beautiful agency lifestyle lets me do it, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's not always roses.
No, that's awesome. Well, listen, you're a down to earth, real person. You've got family, you've got, kids, you've got, pretty much what everybody has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Right. And everyone's circumstances, kind of revolve around this. Everyone's got their own stuff, which is awesome. Yep. Right. You're not this guru that's out there, promoting course after course after course and, about their stuff. And it's all theory and conjecture. You're actually doing this stuff, which is affording you a lifestyle that you are enjoying, which is awesome. So let's get into a little bit without revealing too much about the course itself. Some of the folks that are watching this probably have some questions about it because they've actually picked it up through our promotion. Yep. And I'm sure they're going to have some questions about this. What I really love about the RCS system is that it's practical, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of us are keyboard warriors. We're, behind our computers, we're behind our iPhones and Android devices. And, we're scouring ways to provide value to people inside the community. And what I really like about your system is that it is very simple. There's not a ton of investment in other software and all kinds of stuff, although they can, right? There's ways to amplify, the effectiveness of your system. But, it seems very practical in the way that you're leveraging this platform to actually help local businesses. And let's talk about the response that, the way that you're prospecting with businesses. What's the general feedback overall of when you're connecting with some of these businesses and leveraging your system? What's the general response to the way that you're connecting with businesses?
Yeah, generally it's very positive. So it depends on the approach. So some of the ways that I approach people are on freelance sites. Like Upwork it's the only one that I use. I have subscriptions elsewhere, but I only go to Upwork to find work on occasion. And then, so if you're doing it there, they're very receptive. They're already looking for work. They've got their hands up. It's really hard to get your foundation set there. I'm fortunate that I've done that already. If you're getting started on Upwork or any of these freelance sites, there's a lot of possibility there. There's people, you just refresh your screen and you see 4 or 5 new jobs in any category. So, there's an abundance. Now, there's also a lot of competition, but if you're from a certain part of the world, there's a lot of people that just want to work with people in that part of the world. Some of it's just a time zone. Some of it's just culture, something like that. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can separate yourself there and just have people search for you in a certain area. But when I started, one of the things that I did, this is actually where this came across. I was already doing these audits, and I was doing it through cold outreach, finding people on Google that needed help. I saw they needed help. They're not asking for it, obviously. It's the same thing as doing cold email. And so I still do that, and the response is not as good, but you can still get people to reply. Okay. And you can also see when they've watched your video, which is great. But with Upwork, I've got, I think, 6 or more screenshots of people just saying, thanks for the video. This was great. Nobody's doing it. And I went right into one account is $850 a month. They didn't talk to anybody else. They just scheduled a call with me because I was able to show them something visually. They got to hear my voice, and they trusted me. And so that's where this separates you from everybody else. If you're doing web design, same thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you can show them some element. I use Facebook retargeting all the time as an example, because if you just have Facebook pixel helper, you can just show, hey, you're missing this pixel. That means you're not doing any retargeting, and be amazed how many people are running pay-per-click ads and they're not retargeting. There's just a huge, there's money right there if all you want to do is help them set up retargeting campaigns, depending on the niche. If it's emergency plumber, that doesn't work. Most, if they have a 1 week or more sales cycle, just do some retargeting, and it's a simple win. But so the response has been really good with that, and even with the cold responses, I've never had a negative response. If that's and that's not always the case if you're picking up the phone or doing email. Exactly. So So you're providing something of value. It's hard for anyone to say anything negative. You don't have to go deep. I was looking at some of my old videos and I was like, God, that was 15 minutes long. I mean, you can't do that. I made all the mistakes. Like, do not go into a dissertation. Don't try to impress people. Just find one or two things you can talk about, and then, send the video out.
There's an attention span of a gold. I hear the attention span of a goldfish is what, like 4 seconds or something,
or whatever it is. Yeah. We're worse.
And apparently we're approaching that, or we've far exceeded, or I don't know, that we've gone well past that in the negative connotation.
Well, think about this too. So, and if you're using, I use Loom. Just spill that if you haven't bought the product. It doesn't matter. I mean, Loom's a really, really good service. It's supposed to pick up my kids. My alarm. They're already here. But there's a time, like it'll show the time. So you might think, no, I just need to hook them and then they'll watch. No, they're not, because they're going to see, oh, it's 10 minutes and 12. I don't have 10 minutes to watch. I don't know who this person is. But if it's 2 or 3 minutes, then, okay, let me sit through this. And you just got to make sure that the email copy gets them to click and watch. And that's the key. And to keep that short. So I've got email templates that I created that work pretty well. So I don't consider myself a copywriter, but I write good copy.
So Drew, before we kind of got on, you and I were talking, before Tom even got on with us early, before we went live, you and I were talking about, we've had a lot of people ask questions about the remote client system course. And one of the big questions is I don't offer the services that they're talking about in the course. And Drew and I have come to the conclusion that it's not really about the products that you guys talk about doing audits on in the course. It's more about the strategy of the audit itself. That is where the real power is. So you can really, tie in anything that you're doing with this strategy overall. The thing is doing something different, offering what Drew and I call results in advance or goodwill to people that you're trying to connect with. And then it's more about that strategy and then plugging in whatever you might be doing on your side for services or whatever it happens to be. It's really less about the actual services that they might talk about and use it as an example in the course, and more about the actual overall strategy itself.
Yeah. I mean, it helps you it helps you pull the curtain back a little bit for people that just don't know what you do. I mean, you can be a copywriter and you could just show someone, hey, here's the system that I use when I'm doing copy. So you're kind of showing transparency. I've got a friend of mine that he uses the same tool, this recording tool, for coaching. He does business coaching, and he has a package that's video coaching. And so he never gets on the phone with these people. They send an email, and I've seen his videos. So he's literally opening up his email and he's hitting record with Loom and he's going through the bullet points in the email. That's his
Inception.
That's it. But it's amazing because he's able to show another screen if he needs to, or show an example, but it creates more value than just say email coaching, but he does it whenever he wants. And he says, I might be responding at 3 a.m. I don't have, we're creating this program. It's a lower price point than my one-on-one coaching where we're on the phone, but you are getting individual response, but it might be 2 a.m. So he loves it because he can respond anytime he wants. And then the people love it. And then there's this connection. Now they've already purchased, but just think of all the ways that you can do this. People, people just respond better to video in most cases, not every case, not every person. There's just a better connection. You don't have to be on camera. In fact, if I ever am, it's only in the bottom left, a little thumbnail, but you can shut that off. You can put a logo, put a picture of yourself. No need to have yourself on camera. They're not worried about that, but they still hear your voice. You're still showing them there, especially if you're showing them a website or something about their business. They're connected to that. So.
Yeah, and this kind of Drew leads into Donna Gunter is asking, I don't really offer the services outlined in the RCS program. How can I segue from one of the show value first services like the Facebook Pixel or others to what I do offer, which is email marketing, Facebook Messenger marketing, or social media posting? And again, Drew, we were talking about examples of how you and I do this with our business and the things that we do. And you can create one of these audit videos using some of the things that they're talking about in the course, whether it's pixels or Google My Business or website responsiveness, whatever it happens to be, and then easily segue into connecting to talk about other things. Why don't you give an example of that, Drew?
Yeah, well, right off the bat, I still say that you should lead with exactly what Tom is teaching inside this course, because ultimately it's not really about a bait and switch. It's just about providing value. And very simply, I mean, just before this, I went and did a search for chiropractors in my hometown, and every single one that I clicked on, there must have been about 7. None of them had a secure website. No, none of them had an SSL. And none of them had a Facebook pixel. Right off the bat, that's like a 6-minute video that I could create out of those 2 services that will immediately give them value. And I'm not looking for a sale right away. I'm just looking to provide some value.
Right. And at the end of that video audit, you could say, hey, by the way, listen, I'm a local guy here in town. I help businesses with, marketing to, improve sales and leads and prospects. I have some great ideas about how you might be able to, push your business forward with some smarter marketing. I'd love to connect with you sometime. Yeah. Boom.
Right.
Give them a call to action.
And you can tie in. So with chatbots, I mean, chatbots could be a great visual thing too. So you could show a really good example of a chatbot in, let's say, chiropractic, right? So you could do that and then show them, hey, this is something that I see you could be using to improve your business. Or to do the route of, hey, here's the Facebook pixel, because guess what? You're going to have to do with chatbots. You're going to have to run ads to them, right? They don't. That's the thing people don't understand. They think, well, I've got a chatbot, so I'm just going to get business. So no, you still have to run ads to that or get traffic somehow. But having a Facebook pixel is a perfect segue into, well, if you're doing the retargeting, we could also set up your chatbot. They respond very well. And then if they do go to your site to book an appointment or whatever, we're going to retarget those folks. And if they don't book the appointment, they're still going to see you. So you just tie that together.
In Donna's situation here, that's actually the perfect segue, right? So not only does she do copywriting and email marketing, all that kind of stuff, it's like, hey, on this other side, this is how you actually build up your list. So people actually care and actually receive the emails that you're going to be sending out, right? So a great way to build up your list is to use and leverage the Facebook, pixel platform, et cetera, and then segue into all that other kind of stuff.
Right. Well, she could even do, if I can jump into that too for Donna. So if you're doing copywriting as well, if you're going to someone's site, I mean, you're going to see some of the worst copywriting in the world, right? People are just throwing it together and it's all about themselves and nothing about the visitor. But if you just went to someone's site and said, hey, here's one thing you can do right now for your headline. It's just, here's how you can improve it and get people to stick. I mean, that could be your audit if you wanted to. And there it is. You just show this is what you've got currently. Here's what I would do to this to really improve people coming here and responding. And that's it. Let me know if you want more help. So you could turn that as well into what you're doing and visually show them their website, what's actually there when people go and how you'd improve that.
My head is exploding with so many ways that we're going to be leveraging RCS in just what we do on a day-to-day basis. We're actually incorporating that into our daily income producing activities, which is prospecting, right?
Right.
And the two opposite spectrum or 2 major elements that I see here for a lot of people that are inside this group is this fear of rejection or the imposter syndrome. And I think what you've put together here is an amazing way that avoids that whole rejection process. So like on the far extreme one side, a lot of people are getting started and even seasoned pros, there's a fear of rejection, right? But leveraging your platform allows you to lead with value in advance. You're paying forward something that really provides value to these people without any possibility of rejection. If they do respond to it, it's probably going to be something, hey, thanks so much. We're not interested at the moment.
Right.
All right. Well, then you go to the next email and so on and so forth. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit. I know that the sales process here, or at least the sales page, there's some, you basically leverage this platform to go from 0 to a very impressive number. This system, in your opinion, if somebody's getting started with something like this, would this be something that you would recommend to somebody that's looking to get their feet wet around a couple of different services? And, what would you recommend, offering in terms of a service on the back end? I mean, I know you mentioned a few that are inside here, but, what could somebody expect to leverage this and start to get some momentum?
Yeah, I mean, again, it really depends on what someone's background. For Donna, if she wants to stick with copywriting, you need to go that, probably try to stick close to that. But there's a lot of services that you can offer that are going to be taken care of for you if you want to. So I use a company that, let's say I use Invisible PPC for some of my back-end pay-per-click. I've got someone that I started running all the pay-per-click for, and then I got someone else to come in and continue just doing monitoring. I wasn't doing enough of the negative keywords every month. I just wasn't as on it as I should have been doing other things. Now it's being taken care of. Invisible PPC does a great job with one of my clients right now in particular. So I highly recommend that, and just know this is how much it costs, build that in. And, I've got a client that I found through this process, and I passed it on to Invisible PPC, and they're handling it. I have a project manager. I'm the one that talks to them. I'm the one that sends them the reports, but someone else is managing it. And to be honest, I mean, I can do pay-per-click. I've set up campaigns. That is not my sweet spot, not even close. I love it. I mean, doing pay-per-click for people can be fantastic because, I mean, it's very easy to show whether you're getting an ROI or not. And so you've got a company that knows how to set these campaigns up. They've got their what do they call them? Their smart niches. So these are niches that they have already done. They already have the numbers on, and you can expect some pretty good results. I mean, it's going to differ from location to location, but that's one area to get started. There's a lot of companies out there that will do white label. I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole with that, looking for different companies, but so there, you can definitely find some services that are simple to set up. There's plenty of people that will run Facebook ads for you. If you don't know how to install Facebook pixels, but you want to get into that, I mean, setting up the pixels is pretty straightforward, but there's some complicated methods of doing that. I mean, if you really want to get into full funnels, but if we're talking local businesses, they just don't need all that stuff. If they've got a retargeting, there's a couple, I'll usually put 2 different types of targeting pixels on the site, and that's it. But you can start with a single one and just run it forward, but just find someone that can help you with that and go after it. So it's a cool approach because you're going to slow down. And I think the fastest way to making money is slowing down. So instead of doing mass email, one of the best ways is to pick up the phone, but who wants to do that?
Right.
So this helps to combat that. And I really don't want to pick up the phone and bug people, but sending a video with something valuable is a great way to do it. Just know it is a numbers game, but you're not talking about sending out 1,000 before you get a response. And that's the cool thing with email. Email seems so easy to do. Mass email can be very complicated. Set up your DKIM and set up all the, to get everything so you're not hitting the spam filters and you're running, a different email address. I mean, it's a pain. It can be. Once it's set up, it's great. But if you're getting started and you want to spend a week just doing that or more, I think you should be focusing on having conversations, and this will help you have conversations. That's the key.
So, Tom, here's a great comment from Donna, who was just asking a question before. Okay, so here's a message I just got from my use of remote client systems while listening to this Facebook Live. Holy cow, that's a really effective way of leaving a message. Let me chew on it for a bit and talk with my wife, and Todd and I will get back to you. Thanks. Boom.
Awesome.
That's it. Congratulations, Donna.
That is,
talk about taking action.
That is where it's at, right? Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key, is that people do, it's just a different approach. I mean, I saw someone do this a couple of years ago. It was for SEO, and it was an SEO audit. The person that brought it to my attention was a hardcore SEO guy. I mean, if you go to Kansas City SEO, he's probably number one. I mean, he's excellent. He loved it. It was 10 minutes long. It was too long for our purposes. He loved it, but he got into the technical part of it. He thought it was really cool. But the approach was cool. And that's what he was saying. He's like, I've never seen anyone do this. And so I started playing around with it. I was doing these real deep dive audits, and it was just, God, it was overwhelming. And then I just started doing these real quick, just super quick reviews. And I mean, you can knock 5 out in 30 minutes, including your, doing some research. Let's say you spend 30 minutes to research. If you spend an hour, you can knock about 5 of these out pretty quickly. So you're doing pretty much the same thing every time. And I show exactly how to set that up. And in Upwork, I just knock them out. Like if I see one, I'm like, I want to do an audit for this person. Yeah. I just run it. And I stumble all over myself. I go back to their message and say, I think you were looking for okay, yeah, you said this. but I've already looked at it, and then I'm just going back. I save them. I go back and say, I'm just going to record these. There's no scripting or anything.
For me, this is.
Good.
I'm sorry. For me, this is the sort of thing that I don't want to like take a lot of time doing.
Right.
But you do want to do on a consistent basis. So I'm someone who probably would get up early, have a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe bang out 4 or 5 of these really quickly, and just get on with my day and forget about it.
That's right.
It's not the sort of thing that you want to just totally rely on 100%. But this is one of those things that you should have in your repertoire of prospecting systems.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, if you didn't pay attention, there's something very interesting that Tom just talked about, and this is probably going to address a point that a lot of people are probably getting hung up on, and that's offering a service that you're not familiar with or you're comfortable with, right? Part of your process, part of your sales process is offering something that truly helps other people. Do you have to provide the service? And that's the rhetorical question here. Mm-hmm. Tom has connected with experts and people that really enjoy to do this type of process, and he's making that connection and he's profiting from it. There's no reason why you have to do everything inside of your business, right? You are the business owner, and your business should be working for you. This is an amazing way for you to connect with people in a very, very different way. Mm-hmm. That's going to get you on the radar of a lot of people. And you're not going to close 100%. Absolutely not. But you're going to get on the radar of people. And if you're cool to those people and do the things that Tom teaches you in the RCS system, you're going to get a lot of wins in your win column and not a lot of losses. And you're not even going to be paying attention to those losses, right? So with respect to Tom's time, we just want to let everybody know that we've got an amazing bonus that we're adding to his RCS system. And that includes doing stuff locally and live, right? So we've got a couple of courses, Event Boss 1.0. We're actually finishing up Event Boss 2.0, which has nothing to do with RCS, but there's some really killer ways that you can apply exactly what Tom is teaching inside of RCS to your business, working with local chambers of commerce and other local civic groups, as well as meetups and all that kind of stuff as well. We've got some very interesting ways to leverage this platform. So, David, what is the link that we've got to Tom's program?
Got to introduce my son real quick.
Hey.
He got shy.
That's all right.
To that too.
All right.
The link is in the post here. I posted it in the comments and up in the above the video in the post text. It's there. It's deliciousmarketing.io/go/RCS. Much easier just to click on the link, but it is there. And if you pick up RCS through that link, you will also get access to our bonuses, which Drew's just going to give a quick overview of right now.
Yeah, so Event Boss 1.0, which is already live and available, you're going to get access to that. It's a long course that's put thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in our pockets by simply coordinating and running local events with your Chamber of Commerce, with local civic groups, meetup groups, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a great way to get in front of a lot of local businesses. And the follow-up process, we're going to be including RCS into this, right? So it's an amazing way when you connect with local businesses and you pick up business cards and you do all that kind of stuff. It's a great way. They already have a little bit of information and exposure to you. It's a great way for you to continue to provide value to them by doing some of these audits. And the RCS system is absolutely delicious. It's a great way for you to connect with those businesses and continue to be at the forefront of their mind by doing something completely different. So Event Boss 2.0 is just about a week and a half away. So you're going to gain access to that. We've got some new stuff that we're going to be sharing inside there. It's going to build upon what you learn in Event Boss 1.0. And then we've got a recent recording of an actual chamber event, and we're going to be applying a lot of these principles. And a great way for people, you can take some of these presentations that we've actually done inside that chamber meeting and actually apply it to some of these businesses and continue to lead with value and give some stuff away for free. Use that as some lead magnets, and it's a great way to educate people about the stuff that you're doing. So we're going to stack that on top of what you're already getting in an amazing system. I guarantee you, if you follow the RCS system, you're going to put clients into your entire Rolodex of people that you can start to work with. You're going to find that you're going to connect with businesses a lot easier this way, and you're going to have a lot less L's or rejection happening and clogging up your arteries of your confidence, right? So guys, pick up RCS. I was captivated through the entire program, and it's something that we're doing on a daily basis now inside of Delicious Marketing, our agency, as well as our local media assets. And we know that once you deploy this as well, just like Donna got immediate results from something that she just sent out, you're going to get these types of results as well. So we want that for you. Tom, you've been an amazing guest. We're really privileged to meet your acquaintance, and we invite you to come back anytime that you want. Come into the group. I'm sure people will have questions. We don't want to clog up your time with that kind of stuff, but you're always welcome, because we just love people doing great stuff inside their community, and we couldn't recommend a remote client system any higher than we already are. So thank you.
I appreciate it, definitely. And I want to check out Event Boss too. I think that's great. So, and another thing too, for people to keep in mind is just use this process for staying in touch with people. I've got a prospect that's a bigger, I met through one of my clients that I got through this process, but I continue to do these audits for her, even though it's a prospect. And every time I talk to her, I think I'm bugging her with these videos. She says, man, I really appreciate you taught me so much. And she's trying to get me on board. This would be a really big client. It's a 129 location franchise. We're looking to buy 50 more, buy a competitor out. So if I were to get this would be a game changer.
Monster deal.
It's really been, a lot of it's been through me doing these quick audits. And she's asking me to bill her for it. I said, don't worry about it, because I see the bigger picture at the end. It'll either end or I'll get this account. And so it's worth it. And it doesn't take that long. Honestly, it's quicker than writing an email, especially when you're wanting to show something. You just can't do it in an email. So there's a lot of different uses for it. And Donna, that's awesome. That was what a cool testimonial.
Yeah, really great.
Really cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, Tom, go spend time with your boys. I know it's early afternoon. Thank you so much for spending some time with us inside the group and on this video. And congratulations, and to your continued success. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks, you too, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.